Hello. Thank you all for having me here. So I want to kick things off with a bit of a weird little game competition thing. So I'm relatively new to the wireless community, and honestly, it's unbelievable. The wireless community is generally fantastic. We have some great individuals within our community. So this little game that I've got up here, there's a £100 gift card to anybody that can tell me the 5 people that these images within our wireless community might relate to. And this is my weird little way of saying thank you, because all of these people put out fantastic content. So do I have any takers?
I got 3 of them.
You got 3 of them?
I got 3 of them.
Anybody better that? If we do it as a collective, I'll just put the £100 towards charity. How about that?
Yeah.
Come on then, first 3.
I'm guessing Wi-Fi Ninjas.
Wi-Fi Ninjas, Matt and Mac.
Keith Parsons?
Almost. It was a toss-up.
I'd say bottom left has got to be Mr. Apple, Dan Jones.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Anybody get FedEx? No? Peter McKenzie? Packets? No. Look, my weird little game out the way. It got me thinking, what's my thing? Oh, and sorry, the previous one, the final one, so this was David Coleman. So it was a toss-up between the 2, right? But this weird little game, it got me thinking, what's my thing going to be? Everybody has a thing within the community. But I had a bit of a reality check when I realised that when you're only 50 pages into the CWNA book, you don't yet have a thing. So I am a user, and I'm a fairly proficient user. And today I'm here to talk to you all about extrapolating value from Ekahau. And we've got a couple of topics that I'm going to cover today. So the first is contextual value-based reporting within Ekahau. And then we've got an announcement around the Ekahau-Meraki integration, which is awesome, and I'm very chuffed to stand here and announce this to everybody. And then finally, we've got just something around innovating revenue streams with Ekahau Insights, which was touched on earlier. But first, a little bit about myself. So I am the co-founder and technical lead of Imatik. We are a Cisco Meraki specialist partner, Wi-Fi obsessed. We actually founded in 2019, my brother and I, and I came from a sales background. Cameron came from an operational background, and neither of us had any technical experience. So day one, literally that typical story of in your mum's bedroom sort of thing, or in your mum's bedroom, whoa, in your mum's basement. Oh shit, nobody show my mum, nobody show my mum. Oh, that's funny, thank you. So, in mum's basement, and we're there day one. Started an IT company with no technical expertise, right? It was meant to fall flat on its face from day one, but no technical expertise, but we did pick up 3 or 4 opportunities quite quickly, a couple of designs and a validation. And when you're young, dumb, and full of whatever, you have the idea that you can take on anything. So we decided to take on all of these opportunities, and we hammered Google and we hammered YouTube. And we figured that we would master this Wi-Fi thing in literally a couple of weeks. POs come in, a few weeks later we've got our first validation survey. It's all right, sweet, we'll hammer Google and YouTube. Boy, was I wrong. I couldn't even get my head around the acronyms. It's a very, very complicated field to somebody that had no technical acronym at all. So we went down the outsourcing route, and going down that route was fantastic. We worked with 5 or so different organisations across different geographies, across different industries, designs, validation, troubleshooting, etc. And we very, very quickly learnt one thing, and that was that all of these companies used the same template. Every time we got sent a validation report or a survey or a design, we was provided with this same template. And consistency is great, right? But the reality is it made no sense to us. It was the parallel that I could draw was like my year 4 colouring book sort of thing. That was how untechnical we were. But as well, the issue was that it wasn't quite contextual, and we're going to come on to that in a second. So we quite quickly found ourselves back at square one. We've got this report, and we couldn't really understand it, and to articulate that into our customers was a little bit difficult. But the main thing is we learned a lot, and we learned what people were doing really well and perhaps what could be improved. So we decided, and my bean counter opened up a little bit more budget. We invested in the ECSE suite, which is fantastic. Like anybody who hasn't done them, and I would imagine most of this room has, absolutely go and do them. They're fantastic.
Which one is your favourite?
Oh mate, it's got to be design. It started me off, and also it's the only one I've done. but my team have done the rest. And as well as investing in the suite, we actually brought on competent engineers who knew a little bit more than my brother and I. But with this and a lot of learning on the job, it absolutely skyrocketed our knowledge, which was great. It was always our ambition to kind of go towards that kind of being the best. But the problem was our documentation stayed the exact same. And it was our frustration from other companies with the documentation not being as good as we thought it could be. And that was a problem, because pushing this into our customers, and I'm sure we've all seen it, you jump on a review call and the customer just scrolls past anything. You kind of sit there and you're like, all right, I've got 300 pages of report here. Have they actually read or digested any of them? Likelihood is no. Perhaps they have a level of trust that you're gonna do right, but your documentation is very much the bridge between your survey when you're on site and the actual deployment of the wireless itself. So I think it's a really, really crucial part. And the best thing is that Ekahau allows you to provide fantastic documentation. So there's no real excuse. And as I said, the problem was we had all the content there, but we didn't necessarily have the context. So the context is what we was absolutely missing. So today I just want to share with you what our design deliverables look like. And hopefully, I mean, the objective of my kind of presentation today, well, hey, have we got a clap? Gives me a second to breathe. The objective of my presentation today was just to stimulate a single idea into kind of how you could perhaps improve one part of your Ekahau practice. So this is what we send out today to customers that have engaged us in a design. You've got your design report with a beautiful custom template. Our current template, as I'm sure a lot of yours does, has loops within loops within loops, like so many that we nickname the thing Inception. You've got your editable files, you've got your pre-design validation. We've also got a no-good RF report highlighting stuff like printers, misconfigured click shares. Like, it's a really nice deliverable to give back to the customer if they're taking that responsibility kind of post-design. We've then got a Meraki configuration guide. Like, I think when you are working with vendors and if you are not taking responsibility for the configuration, post-design, post-survey, whatever, ensure that you've just got like a nice little how-to guide. It really gives the customer confidence, and that's been tremendous for us. The install report, that's another one. Working with professionals, cabling companies, they expect a professional piece of documentation. So that's something that's key. And this is one that I do really want to touch on, because the time that you put into this now will absolutely reduce the headaches that you have later. Because once you have done that design, you are there to the end, whether or not you like it. That's the way it is. The customer's going to be looking at you and expecting you to kind of guide that process. So that initial investment in time will absolutely help. And then you've got your standard stuff. So your Ekahau Insights link, which is fantastic. And then just a 1-hour review call to wrap it all up. And as I was saying, it's that timepiece which is key, because the due diligence that you will do, so you're probably like 5 to 10 minutes per AP, ensuring that you've got the relevant notes in there, ensuring that it's tagged correctly, you've taken photos. That input and that initial time investment is absolutely going to make the difference when you are looped back into that project for whatever question. And then to have that in a contextualized deliverable is really, really key. And then you've also got the time it takes for the templating. I'm going to be honest, we cheated. I didn't buy one. We got a developer to come in, and I kind of outlaid my dream template, and he coded it away. But with more value that you can push into your customers via fantastic deliverables, you can double your value and therefore double your charge. But the value doesn't stop there. We've actually got a little bit more coming today, which I'm pleased to announce. And perhaps another deliverable that we can add to our design deliverables as well. So Meraki and Ekahau have just announced a fantastic integration. Has anybody heard of it in the room? No? Okay, couple of hands. Okay, cool. Well, look, first a bit of context. So only 20% of Meraki wireless customers globally actually upload their floor plans into Meraki. Now, for me, wireless is a pretty proximity-based solution. So to ensure, from a troubleshooting perspective, that you know where the client device is, especially if you're remote troubleshooting, right? That you know where the client device is in relation to the access point is really, really key to that first step of troubleshooting. And for anybody who uses Meraki, there's a fantastic resource called ap.meraki.com that will provide you a load of information with the Meraki AP you're connected to and some other really cool things. But that's great, but if you can't then translate that over to your floor plan, understanding where the APs are on the floor plan and where the client device is proximity-wise to the access point, then it becomes a little bit difficult. But there is a reason that a lot of people don't have their floor plans uploaded. And it's probably because it takes 1 to 2 minutes per AP, maybe even longer, and that's provided that the team that has actually fit your APs has done it as per your designs and that sort of thing. So a lot of people miss this out, which is understandable. But today, we have a new integration. So we all know that it is plausible to take design files from a couple of vendors. You can absolutely do that with the Ekahau-Meraki integration. What's super exciting is that you can now do this with measured data. So courtesy of the Ekahau team and I think a lot of Matt Starlin's blood, sweat and tears to edit this video, this is a quick example as to what this integration looks like. So we've got Matt walking around with his Sidekick 2, showing off. Actually, Matt, how many times have you surveyed this building?
A lot.
Yeah. And what we can see is we've picked up measured data here. And the accuracy of Ekahau placing devices is fantastic now. And example dashboard that we have, there's nothing in there. We haven't got our APs on our floor plans. But it's so simple to get it in there. It's so simple. It is an exchange of an API key. And this works across all of your organizations that you have the right permissions to. So if you are a consultancy, an MSP, and you have hundreds of customers, it's one API key, and you can plug that into all of your organizations and then select their relevant networks. And what we're seeing here, it is really, really that simple. It is a case of putting the API key in, selecting organ network, and then we're about to see that it's pre-populated in Ekahau. Like, for me, this is a fantastic value add going back into our customers. Not only are we going to provide you with a validation survey, but we're also just going to ensure that your dashboard is configured as it should be. So I think it's a really, really neat integration.
Woo!
Hey. And we're all up. Yes, please.
Can someone do that if they just have been sent the insights link?
No, I don't believe so. I believe so you'll have to. That's a really good question. Is that something that we will be able to do?
Not from a guest link, I don't think.
No.
It's just you'll need to be the owner of the file, and
Yeah.
then you do the export.
Yeah. Okay. But fantastic question.
There's ways to get that.
Ah, there we go. There we go. Okay, cool. So something's coming, which is great. And the key thing is here, everybody, is it's a validation survey, which is new. So that clap was absolutely for Ekahau-Meraki. That's fantastic that we've done that. The final thing that I'd like to touch on in my presentation today to you all is Ekahau Insight. So we saw a short demo. Oh, we have a question.
Yes.
Sorry, the light is terrible.
When it comes to like geolocation, do you still have to do that yourself?
No, it takes it from Ekahau Insights. If you've added the location to Insights, it pulls it for you automatically into your Meraki dashboard with the location, so you don't need to try and rotate the plan on the dashboard.
Yeah, it's very slick. It's very slick.
This is going to increase my Ekahau subscription license costs.
Yes, Alan.
Alan, you don't pay for yours, mate.
But the Meraki license might go up, who knows. Cool, so final bit of my presentation today is Insights. We've all seen Insights earlier. Whoever is not using it today, please, I urge you, go and leverage Ekahau Insights. It's such a great little resource. It is a technical summary of your, an interactive summary of whether or not it's a design, a validation, whatever. It's a really, really cool tool to be able to send to your customers, and you have that guest link. We've covered that earlier, so thank you for Matt and Mac there, taking away about a minute of my presentation, but I'm sure you'll all be happy with that. But there's something new coming, and I think it's really, really cool. Ekahau is actually about to integrate messaging into Ekahau Insights. So you are going to be able to communicate with your customers where their design and visualizations are, where their troubleshooting survey is. It's a fantastic way for you to go back and forth with your clients. It's the platform where they can see everything, you can see everything. It's so super contextual. But I think we can actually take this a step further. For the Wi-Fi consultants out there, for the small businesses, or if Ekahau is your side hustle, I think that we can leverage this new feature that's soon to come from Ekahau Insights, and we can turn it into something a little bit more. We can look at a kind of service-led model based on this. And the reason I picked out consultants and kind of guys and girls that are doing this as a side hustle, you probably don't have a ticketing platform, and you probably don't want the complexity to manage all of that. So to be able to say to your customer, well, post-validation or post-deployment, you have 7 days worth of support, and this is the medium by which you contact me. It's such a great way. Rather than going into a ticketing platform, you've then got to jump back into the design file, or you've got to look at the dashboard, whatever, like you're in that medium already. And we can also perhaps look at a support contract, whether or not that's something very, very lightweight, how you wrap it up commercially. If you wrap it up commercially, it's really none of my business. But nonetheless, the opportunity is there for us to perhaps say, you can leverage our service, you can ask our experts via this medium about this design, this site, at any time. We've got a 24-hour SLA to get back to you. And if you don't use that, then we'll come back in 12 months' time and we'll do a free health check. This is a way to kind of change us into more of a SaaS kind of model. And outside of the monetization of it, you might just want it as a general value add, like it's a fantastic way for you to communicate with your clients. Or you could do something a little bit funky and just keep engagement with your customers. Every single week, a Wi-Fi fact of the month posted in there. Like it's somewhere that is super contextual, and I think it's very, very important. So for me, the idea was today just to at least stimulate one idea as to how you can bring in more value to your current Ekahau practice. I hope I've done that in some description, but I'm going to leave you with one question is, are you delivering contextual, simple value into your clients, and are you prioritizing it? I hope so. I hope you've taken something from this. That's everything from me today. A little bit shorter than I was meant to be, but I think we was running behind. So thank you very much.